What's good, Commanders fans? The Washington Commanders have officially signed defensive end Drake Jackson, former San Francisco 49er. We talked about him last week when he came in for a visit. He visited with us, the Ravens, and another team. Remember when I talked about how he was a defensive end, former second round pick by the Niners. Adam Peters was in the building. Another former Niner, Cleveland Farrell, Deebo Samuel. Josh Johnson was a former Niner. There's just a bunch of former Niners that have been involved in the organization now. And it makes sense with Adam Peters being Robbie Chosen, former 49er. It makes sense with Adam Peters, his affiliation with the 49ers for the last couple of years before he came here. But Drake Jackson, he just had an injury-riddled career so far. Went to USC. His dad, when Drake Jackson was born, his dad wrote down Drake Jackson, future USC linebacker. So from the day one, when Drake Jackson came out of the womb, his dad spoke into existence that he was going to be a USC football player, and that ended up happening. Drake Jackson has had some flashes. He had 3 sacks in one game against the Steelers. He had a breakout game. He had 14 pressures in 2023 in 8 games, which was 9%. Was a 9% pressure rate, which is not great. But he had 3 sacks in both seasons that he did play. I believe he had 1 interception in 2022. He had 8 pass deflections, which is pretty crazy. So he's a guy that can get his hand up and bat some passes down. 8 pass deflections by a defensive end is really, really, really good. That's really, really good. And then 2023, he had 3 sacks again in 8 games. He played 15 games in 2022, played 8 games in 2023, and then he went to USC. Made second team all Pac-12 multiple times. You look at his RAS score. He is an athlete and a half, not a good run stopper. Kind of more of a situational pass rusher. Needs to get his strength up and get stronger. He had a 36.5 vertical leap, which is really, really good, which is elite. Broad jump, elite. Shuttle cone drill, 4.28 seconds, which was great. 3-cone drill, which was great, 7.09 seconds. Did not do the 40-yard dash coming out of college. Did not do the 20-yard split or the 10-yard split. His height and weight was considered poor per the RAS score and had an overall 8.60. He was ranked 212 out of 1,503 defensive ends from 1987 to 2022. So he is an athlete. He's an athlete. And we got younger. We got younger by bringing him in. Now, you look at the depth chart. Now, what does this mean for Dorance Armstrong? Is this like kind of a precursor or a preview to some bad news that we're going to get later today? Who knows? He did have a hamstring injury, but he did come back into the game last night against the Bears. He did get a sack on Caleb Williams. Dorance Armstrong now has 6 sacks on the season. He's still on pace for 17 sacks, which is pretty insane to say. So I hope he can play against the Cowboys. Hopefully he doesn't miss a lot of time if he is going to miss time with the hamstring injury. So Jalen Holmes may have to start. And Preston Smith. We still have Von Miller. We still have Jacob Martin. We still have Preston Smith. So we just don't have a lot of bodies. We're just dropping. A lot of guys are hurt. Will Harris on IR, John Jones, Deidrick Wise out for the season. We just got a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball, on both sides of the football. So we'll see what this guy Drake Jackson can do since he will be signing. He's gonna have to play. Like I said, he's gonna, even if Dorance is healthy. Honestly, he probably may still need to be active. You know, I think he still may have to be active. And he missed the whole 2024 season before being waived by the Niners on May 9th, 2025. He was placed on the PUP list on August 8th, 2024 due to a patellar tendon surgery he underwent the previous season. So that is the write-up on Drake Jackson. And I think he does have some positional versatility on the defensive line as well. So we'll see what this guy can do. Once again, he is athletic with long strides and space, backside quickness to beat, reach, block, and tackle down the line. Follows the action with good reactive athleticism, has bend and corner talent at the edge. That's the write-up on NFL.com. But his weaknesses are he hasn't developed rush counters against power. Like I said, he does need to get stronger. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of studs and duds or possibly look at snap counts. But I do want to get a quick word from Sleeper. What's good, Commanders fans? And shout out to today's sponsor, Sleeper, daily fantasy sports app. I got a great promo code deal for you guys using code Oliver. First-time users get 100% deposit match up to $100 using promo code Oliver. Terms and conditions apply. Check out the link down below in the description and download the app as soon as possible. So we're going to make some NFL picks each week. We are 1-3, but on the app you can do more or less on passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards, anytime touchdown scores, receptions, which is one of my favorite ones, rushing attempts, kicking points, any stat, tackles you can do more or less, any stat you can think about in football, even sacks, defensive sacks. So any stat you can think about, you can do more or less. So my picks for the week is over Carson Wentz of half a passing yard, which is a good discount that they're giving. I get it as Carson Wentz, and then I'm going to do more on 64.5 receiving yards for Drake London. I hate to pick an opponent, but we have been giving up a good amount of receiving yards to Trey Tucker last week. Who else? Jacoby Myers had 60 receiving yards. Malik Neighbors had like 69 or 70 receiving yards. So I think we're going to give up a decent amount of receiving yards to Drake London. Still win the game, though. But promo code Oliver. Make sure you guys use that. Let's get back to the video. Peace. Shout out to today's sponsor, Sleeper, once again. On Twitter, we did hit with the Zach Ertz over receiving yards. I don't think we hit with Bill's rushing yards. I think he went under. He was very close to it. I think it was like less. He was less than 65.5 rushing yards, I believe. So, like I said, just rapid fire. I want to move on from this game quickly because we got to play the Cowboys on Sunday. It's a short week. Duds to me was Matt Gay for the missed kick. Mikey Sanders still just struggled in coverage again. Quan Martin for that missed tackle. Now, he was rated pretty high per PFF. He was actually our highest graded player per PFF. He had a 79.6 PFF grade, 79.9. Zach Ertz had a 75.5. I think Zach Ertz was a stud with a touchdown catch, had a couple catches. Jalen Lane was a stud with the stutter step or the stop and go or the double move that he had on Tyreek Stevenson. I want to see him get some more targets. Deron Payne was 73.9. I thought he played well. He had the block kick. Luke McCaffrey, 69.2 with the touchdown catch and a couple of nice kick returns as well. I thought Chris Moore played well. Even though he had a couple of drops, I thought he played really well. And, it's expected for Chris Moore to get a drop. I was not expecting him to catch anything, especially a catch like that he caught on Kyler Gordon in the corner of the end zone. That was insane. That really was. That was insane by Chris Moore. Other duds, like I said, it wasn't like a lot of individual duds. I feel like it was a collective team dud. And Jaden, I'm not going to say he was a dud or a stud because of the terrible fumble. I thought he had a good game for the most part other than that and the interception. But, those things happen. And I'm not going to say whether he was a stud or dud. He was like right in the middle. But that fumble, man, that was rough. It was bad. It was real bad. I get the weather inclements and all that, but that was bad. That was unacceptable. And he took accountability for that. He did. The offensive line was fine for the most part. If you want to say Joe Jr. was a dud, it is what it is. Like I said, Marshawn Lattimore, you can't even really pick on him like that. He really wasn't bad. Like, he didn't play bad. He wasn't really targeted like that to say he was bad either. So, I thought Trey Amos was fine. I thought he was, I guess, a stud. Like I said, Bill didn't have his best game. He fumbled. Jeremy McNichols had some good moments in the receiving game, but he had a bad drop too. It was like kind of like guys did one good thing, one bad thing to kind of cancel out whether they were going to be a stud or a dud, So it's just kind of the kind of day that we had out there. Donnie Newton, I thought Frankie Louvu got back to himself a little bit, but we just still didn't stop the run. If you let DeAndre Swift get 6.6 yards per carry or 7 yards per carry, whatever it was, and then Quan Martin just doesn't even tackle on that one play, you just can't really call anybody a stud on the defensive side of the ball. It's just unacceptable. And then Dorance got the sack. I talked about that earlier. Johnny Newton, I thought he was flying around a little bit here and there. He made a few plays. Preston Smith got in, got a couple snaps. Jordan McGee only got one snap the whole time. That's unacceptable. And Bobby Ryder played 100% of the snaps. So that's something they need to change. They really do. They gave Jordan McGee a little bit of a chance last game, and this game, for whatever reason, they only gave him one snap. So, and Debo is hurt, man. He's hurt. You can tell. He's not himself. So hopefully Terry is back. Hopefully we get an update on Terry McLaurin, Sam Cosmi, Dorance Armstrong, and Noah Brown. Noah Brown, you got to move forward like he's not going to play, to be honest with you. So hopefully we can get Sam Cosmi back, which I think we will. Then hopefully we can get Terry McLaurin back. There's been a lot of nasty comments about Terry recently. Every time. I don't even talk about Terry much. I just say, hey, he's out. We'll see what happens. But everybody's like, oh, he got overpaid and all this stuff. And then the whole Eastern Motors thing. And then that, he brought up that he never gets hurt. And now he's hurt. So a lot of people have been tough on Terry in the comments for sure. So I'm going to try my best to address that in probably a separate video. We'll see And I might put up some of the pictures that I have from last night from being at the game. So, all right, you guys, as always, you guys let me know what you guys think. Hello, Commanders. Peace.